welcome back to a new video on the Model 15, and in this one we will create a couple of patches. We need to create a bass, an acid type of sound, and then we need to create a lead. Let's go with the bass first, and this is how it's going to sound after we finish creating the patch. On this one, I want to use the oscillator 2, and I want to use this sub. The thing is that if we go up on this one alone, and we use the oscillator 2, we can, maybe if I go up, we can hear it. If I go down on this one, we can use this sub and the oscillator. The thing is that I cannot control the level of the sub and the oscillator. We can only go up on both. So using the ins and the outs, what we can do, we have this sub out and the oscillator 2 out. I can connect the oscillator 2 out to one of the mix in, and we will be replacing that signal. So first I'm going to take the oscillator 2 and I'm going to go out to the mix of 1. Now on the mixer, I'm going to go down on all of the controls, and I'm only going to go up on the number 1. And this one, the one that we have right here, is the oscillator 2 going directly into the mix. I'm going to take the oscillator 2 and I'm going to put it on 8. With the waveform, I'm going to leave it on the sub and the saw. And if I play something, it's going to sound like that. And it sounds fine, but I want to get the sub and then put it on the mix number 2 and control the levels. So I'm going to take one more cable and I'm going to go out from the sub, and then I'm going to go to the mix 2. And now we have the oscillator 2 on the 1 and the sub on the 2. If I go down on the mix of the 1 and go up on the 2, notice that we get just the sub of the oscillator 2. So now we can just blend the sub and the main one. I'm going to go right there, and I'm going to stay maybe on almost 50%. And I also want a little bit of noise, so I'm going to go up on the noise. Of course, this doesn't sound like a bass, but if we chop the frequencies, now it's too much. If I put it here, I'm going to need to use the envelope amount. I'm going to go all the way up, and now if I play something, we start getting it. Now, of course, this listens to the envelope. I'm going to keep the key tracking right there at the center, and we kind of need to adjust the envelopes. Right now, sustain is all the way up, so it's super open. I'm going to go all the way down on the sustain. If I play something, we get a clicky sound. So we need to open the decay a little bit more. And now again, we get a more bassy sound. I'm going to go to the release and add a little bit of release. And now it kind of sounds like a bass. Now, of course, if you want more decay, more just a larger type of bass, longer, let's say, go up on decay, but I'm gonna keep it around there. There we go. I'm gonna play the clip, and that's how it sounds. Of course, I'm not playing it, it's just the clip playing it, and it sounds cool. Now you can go up in resonance, but remember that it will go down in the lower frequencies. If you want more of the lows, go up. If you want more of the bite, you go up. I'm going to keep it there. If it's too noisy, you can go down. Let's add a little bit of effects. If I play it, I'm going to add a little bit of saturation. Why not a little bit of EQ? Now I'm going to add a little bit of chorus. And I'm using Bitwig, if you're wondering, but you could use whatever you want. These effects are just super common and generic. So if you're using Ableton, use your default distortion and EQ or chorus. It will just work fine. Now I'm going to play it in context with the rest of the track. You know, it kind of works. Now the thing is that, of course, there's a kick, and maybe we want to duck the bass just a tiny little bit. So I have a kickstart right here, and this one will just duck the bass when the kick hits. You can hear it. If it's too aggressive, going down will let more of this pass. If I play it in context, Sounds cool. So that's the patch number 1. Let's build the patch number 2. And on this one, I want a more acid type of sound, not getting all the way into acid. And we really need to do a few things, especially we need a lot of distortion to get that acid type of vibe. Let me show you first the final result. Okay, so let's do it. If I played something now, the main path, the signal path, it goes oscillators, then mixer, and then goes to the filter. But I want to use the high pass filter. Right now, it's not connected, so we need to patch it in. I'm going to take the mixer out, which is this section, and instead of going directly into the filter, I'm going to go first to the high pass and then to the filter. So it's mixer, then out, and this one needs to go to the high pass. So now the sound that goes out of the oscillators goes into the high pass. Now we need to take the sound from here and go to the filter. So we need one more cable. I'm going to get the out right here, the output of the high pass. And now we are taking the high pass to the filter. So back again, we are going oscillators to the mixer, mixer to the high pass filter, and the high pass now it's going to the cutoff. I'm going to use a square so we can really hear what's going on. I'm going to go to lows. And now if I go up, we are chopping the low frequencies. And this will be useful. On the oscillator section, I'm going to be using the 1. I'm going to go all the way on the up on the 1, all the way up on the 2. And I'm going to be using 2 range on the 2, and I'm going to go to 8. When you use 2 oscillators, and I'm going to go maybe to low frequencies for now, if I move this, that is that they will start shifting, especially phase. And if I use the same range, maybe I'm going to use 8 and then 8, you can hear it. So to solve this, what we can do is to use one single oscillator or maybe use sync. Whenever you use sync, it sounds super tight. Right? If I shift, what we get is a different tone. We can use this as as an acid type of sound. Cool. On this one, I'm going to use 2, and I'm going to go to 8. So this is the sound that we get. For now, I'm going to put it in 0. And on the shapes, I'm going to be using the square, and I'm going to use the square or pulse in pulse. Now, sync sounds really cool when we start modulating, especially the frequency. Or we can modulate something else. So what I want to do, I want to modulate the pulse width of the oscillator number 1. The thing is that if we do that, if I go up on this control and then go up in the modulation, both pulses will be modulated. So instead of using the modulation, the default modulation that we get from the synth, we are going to be using the ins and the outs. I want to take the LFO, this one, I want to take the LFO out and modulate the one that we have right here, the oscillator 1 pulse width modulation. Now, if I go directly the LFO to the oscillator 1 PWM, it's going to be super aggressive. So what we can do, we can go to an attenuator first and then attenuator go to the pulse width modulation. And I'm going to do that. I'm going to go LFO, then to the attenuator number 1, which is the only attenuator that we have. And then from the attenuator out, I'm going to go to the oscillator 1 pulse width modulation. So now if I play something, and I'm going to go down on this one so we can only hear the oscillator 1. Remember that we are modulating with the LFO, the pulse width, and we can decide how much with the attenuator. You can go all the way in, or maybe just a tiny little bit. I'm going to put it right here for now. Now the rate of the LFO in which waveform, it matters. If I go down, we get that. But if I go up, we get a tonal change. And this is what I want. I want this type of sound. So I'm gonna just keep it all the way up. And on the attenuator, we can go all the way aggressive or maybe somewhere in between. Then we're gonna test it, when we add the distortion, we're gonna see how it sounds. I'm going to put it on 75%. I'm going to go up on the oscillator 1 and down on the resonance. So 1 and 2 out, no resonance. I'm going to add maybe a little bit of resonance. I'm going to use the cutoff. I'm going to go down. Of course, we need to open. I'm going to go fully up. I'm going to keep the VCA on envelope and the key tracking on half and the decay. You know what? I'm going to play the clip. That's it. It sounds pretty acid, right? So I'm going to maybe go down on the decay, but sustain. I'm going to take it down. Release all the way down. And if you want a more open sound, we open the decay. And this is something, we can do throughout the song. As we move forward, we can keep opening the decay and let more sound pass. Same with the resonance. We can do this with both hands, right? And we get that, acid type of vibe. That's the plan. I'm gonna leave it around there for now. Like I said before, the attenuator, that is allowing the pulse width modulation, really changes the tone. It sounds a little bit more metallic, less metallic. I like this. I'm going to keep it all the way up. And then it's the frequency. We are in sync, so we can get different tones with this. Now, this sounds cool, but it will sound better when we add effects. All right, so I'm going to add some distortion, and this will change pretty much everything. Yeah. Now, this distortion, it's pretty special because you can go, of course, less, but you can really crank it up if you wanted to. And this one, you can boost part of the frequency. Now, if you use an emulation of the Boss, I guess it's the OD1, the yellow one, you can get that classic acid type of distortion. On this one, I'm gonna leave it here. I'm gonna add a little bit of EQ, just chopping the lows and boosting a little bit of the highs and cutting the super mids. Because if I play it with the bass that we just created a few minutes ago, some frequencies are gonna super clash. So just to make it wider, look at the chorus. This is a standard type of chorus. And then just to round everything up, I'm gonna add a little bit of reverb, maybe 32. Oh, it's fine. 1.5. So I'm gonna leave default values on this one. Let's add a little bit of sidechain. No sidechain. Yeah. We need a little bit of this. Now I'm going to play the whole track and just see how it sounds. There we go. If I take it out, that's the bass. If I take out the bass, this sounds. If I take out the bass, something missing. So now let me show you one more thing. I'm going to solo our track. And like I was telling you before, we can use the high-pass filter to create some sound effects, or maybe you can do this at some point in the track and then just burn it. We can also use the glide, which is something that we didn't use. And we get this note traveling to a different note type of sound. This is too much. Maybe I'm going to do, like, let's say 10%. And all the different tones that we can create or get, especially you can modulate this manually, and that's the whole idea of using an analog synthesizer, is that you can do it with your hand directly. Remember the attenuator, it's important. It sounds dull to me. I like this metallic sound for this. Right, so let's create a lead now that will go on top of that. And it's not a super in-your-face lead. I want to create just a tiny, smooth triangle type of lead. Let me show you the final result. Okay, so let's begin. It's a triangle type of lead. I'm going to go down into a triangle and down to a triangle. The frequency and the fine tune stays there. And this is, again, lead. So I'm going to go up. I'm going to go to 2. And this one, I'm going to put it on 4. If I play something, I'm going to go up on this one. And this one, I'm going to go down. Of course, I'm going to need to open this a little bit more. And we are using 2 triangles, right? So maybe you're wondering why it sounds crushed. It's because when you go up in the volume of the Model D, you will be clipping a little bit of the signal, or the mixer is just clipping a little bit of the signal. And I kind of like that, so I'm going to keep this one around there, and I'm going to go down on the number 1. We could do a little bit of modulation. If I go up on this one, I'm going to go all the way up, and I'm going to do a little bit of pitch mod. And a little bit less than 50%. Of course, this is too much. I'm going to go down and do a little bit. Now, right now, it sounds cool. I'm going to do a little bit of glide, maybe, so we can hear. If we do too much, it's just maybe... Sounds cool, but maybe not for this one. So a little bit of glide, like maybe 15%, 20%, let's say. Now, what else can we do? The filter, I'm going to keep it all the way up. The key tracking on half. The resonance, I'm going to keep it down, and the envelope amount, I'm not going to do anything. But still, I want a little bit of release. If I play the clip now. Sounds like that. The glide is doing a lot for us. Of course, this is super dry. I'm going to add a little bit of flanger. This is the stock flanger that you get on Bitwig. We can do maybe a little bit of reverb. And we get more depth. I'm doing a lot. Maybe a little bit less. I want this sound in the background. This is not the star of the show. It's the previous patch that we created. I'm gonna maybe add a little bit of EQ, cutting the super lows. There's not much here, but you know, you can see it right here. You're just chopping that off. We don't need it. And then maybe a little bit of kick sidechain, just to add a little bit of movement. All right, so let's play the 3 patches in context. Maybe on this one, you know, we could just use the high pass and the cutoff on the patch number 2. Make it narrow and then just big. And that's it, we're done. If you liked all of this, check the links at the description. You have the download for the patch sheet. And I've added a tiny little thing on the patch number 2. I didn't use it on the video, and this is something that you could apply for any other patch. Right here you have the velocity out. When you take the velocity out, whatever it is that you're using will be responsive to velocity. So maybe if you get it out, you can just patch it in on one end, and the velocity will affect that property. If you liked all of this, please like and subscribe. And this channel is supported by viewers only. If you want to buy me a coffee to say thanks and help the channel keep going on, you can. You have links at the description for PayPal, YouTube Thanks, and Patreon.